Support for the Four Brewers podcast is provided by beer drinkers like you. Support the show at patreon.com/4brewers. That's patreon.com/4brewers.
Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to Four Brewers. My name is Matt Becker, and as always, I'm joined by
John Holzer.
Jason Harris. Greg Nagel.
We're also joined. It's been some time since we have been. It's been some time since we have.
Been a while.
Since we've been joined by our poorest Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, boys.
Hello.
We have got Showdown, Throwdown here that I am very excited about. Beachwood Barbecue and Brewing in Long Beach.
They laid the gauntlet down.
They did. They threw down because they seem to be especially upset about the sale of one Ballast Point Brewing. And Ballast Point also opened up a location like right near
between
the...
I feel like
the
that's
two
between.
locations.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think, where they probably got a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Because you're like, hey, we're a craft brewery in Long Beach, and some big, mostly almost national brewery gets a $1 billion buyout and builds a very expensive destination brewery restaurant
On the water.
a couple miles from our brewery restaurant in Long Beach. And
not that far from Seal Beach, also.
yeah.
Beachwood throwing up what I think may have been the biggest middle finger in this industry that I've ever seen, made a series of beers called the Invasive Species series.
Mm-hmm. So they kind of tiptoed in at first because they did a trade-in, a growler trade-in.
To go back a little further, Jason, not to interrupt you, but they have kind of taken the standpoint
beer.
that we are an independent brewery, which I got to give credit to SD Beer Talk Radio, San Diego Beer Talk Radio.
For sure.
They kind of coined that, which at first I was like, okay, whatever, you're trying to make a fucking hashtag. But brewers and breweries actually ran with it, and it does make sense. So now being an indie brewer or an independent brewer is an actual thing, and Beachwood, especially Julian Schrago and Gabe Gordon, as individuals ran with that mantra too. So they decided we're going to go out and fight corporate beer, and then Jason with...
Yeah, they had the growler buyback. So basically, bring in a growler from any formerly craft brewery that's been bought out, and they would trade it for one of their growlers. Which
is rad.
Golden Road,
is great.
Ballast Point, any of those guys, they're like, yep, bring them in. We'll trade them, give you a free Beachwood growler.
Nice. And then just recently they took it one step further with the Invasive Species series of beers. So they made an IPA, they made a Grapefruit IPA, a Habanero IPA, and a mango, blonde ale, more or less.
That's a mango IPA. It's the same beer with
mango IPA.
Yeah, the Ballast Point version of that is even keel, right?
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily an IPA.
With a dead fish on the label also, just really going one more into
fish
Ballast
bones,
Point.
straight
It's like
fish bones,
fish bones on the label. Basically, a straight up craft beer diss track is what this is.
Seriously.
They're just like, we're
100%.
like, hey, Ballast Point, fuck your bitch and the click you claim.
Yes.
You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife.
So,
Jesus.
I should not have said that.
And yet you did.
I let that world into our podcast, and I'm so sorry.
so all this being said, we wanted we at Four Brewers try our best to be objective about quality, and so we decided, why not do a little Pepsi challenge?
Blind.
Let's see if you're gonna call it out. Well, then let's see how you compare Beachwood.
Yeah.
Because
put your fucking dick on the table.
Yeah, we have a long history with Sculpin.
We do have a long history with Sculpin.
We have a Sculpin sign on the wall.
Yeah, we're kind of estranged.
We coined
since
the
whole thing.
Sculpin scale of IPAs.
Yeah.
Yep. On a scale of 1 to 10 Sculpins, that's right. I forgot about that.
Sculpin is still a great beer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it, but that doesn't mean it's still not a great beer.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yep.
Except for in this instance where we did buy it.
We did. They are purchased.
And shout out to John Ridey, Temecula Craft Beer Ambassador, for picking this up for us.
Oh, thanks, man.
He picked it up because I didn't want to drive all the way down to Temecula or San Diego just to find out that they didn't have fresh Sculpin.
Right.
And the Sculpin that we got, I think, is from, I'm looking it up right now.
Wasn't it like November 5th or something like that? November
It's
4th
from
or 5th?
November 4th, yeah. The Julian date is 16/309, which is 2016. and the 309th day of the year.
And picked up right from the brewery store, not the brewery proper, but
Yeah, they have like a restaurant, I guess.
Like a retail location.
Do they have a little brewery set up in there?
I don't think so.
think so.
I think
No,
it's just like a restaurant
tap room.
retail shop.
Yeah.
But it's in Temecula, I think, off Winchester. So
And the Beachwood beers came out on the 22nd, and they were direct from Beachwood. Got picked up by a friend of the show, Cougar Steve, for me.
Thanks, Cougar Steve. So, like 2 or 3 week difference really should be insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
These are both fresh beers from the brewery, stored right. They got no excuses, nothing to hide behind.
Yep.
And frankly, if that's as fresh as Ballast Point is selling out of their brewery store, well, then they deserve what they get if they want to bitch about 2 weeks of freshness.
For real. So why don't we dive right in here?
First, we have a mailbag.
Mailbag. No, fuck you guys.
I've got to mail. I've got to bag. Mailbag.
that's my cat.
John is holding the meow bag. Meow bag. Meow bag.
Meow bag.
Meow bag.
Meow meow.
Snapchat.
Snapcat.
Snapchat.
Snapcat.
The
So I'm
meow
holding my
bag.
cat because normally we have the studio door closed. And
Amazon. Meow.
Oh,
genius.
man.
Snapcat.
Oh, the memes.
Jim Furrer. He says, hello, Four Brewers. Came to the podcast a few months after wondering what happened to the New Brew Thursday crew.
Here we are.
I've been somewhat binge listening to many of the episodes from the past year or so. Pretty interesting to see your evolution of interest in the New England style IPA. I would say it's gone from disdain to curiosity to interest to brewing in the course of a few months, although I think John is still ardently opposed. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I've seen the buzz around Monkish. Are you seeing it more around your neck of the woods? What is the general vibe amongst some of the old guard? Are you seeing more of the legacy brewers dip into the style? I love the Monkish beers, but I'm not going to wait in line. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck lines.
no, yeah, it's the worst.
They have you got to get there at 5 a.m. now if you want to get beer, and I'm not about that life.
it's painful. Like, I mean,
San Diego Beer Talk coined independent breweries. We're coining fuck lines. So,
yeah.
Hashtag fuck line.
fuck
Hashtag
lines.
fuck lines. Yeah.
And the old guard, yeah, pretty much everybody's jumping in on it. Why wouldn't you? It's a really popular style right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but I mean, the really, really big ones though aren't really so much. It's more of the more local
Even Stone
About
has
Rebel IPA Juicy?
well, even Stone had unfiltered enjoy by. I mean, they're trying to get kind of.
There's a difference between that and the whole juicy thing.
Yeah, but it's
super
dipping a
cloudy.
toe at it. They're like, okay, people like this cloudy thing, so
Right.
we're gonna kind of inch that way.
Right.
And most of the locals have done it. I mean, Noble's done one.
Yeah, Bottle Logic.
Beachwood wouldn't do one, out of spite, I think.
Just out of frustration.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might.
I mean, they have a new brewery that's in Huntington Beach that they're bottling all this new stuff. They can do 12 ounce and 22 ounce bombers. Yeah, that's where these beers came from.
Yep.
Brewed in HB.
Used to be
Orange County.
Beach City Brewing. I went there for the grand opening, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't last
Beach
very
City.
long.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
But then he says, as an East Coaster, he enjoys the style, but he always enjoys our take. He'll shoot you out of box next time I get some fresh stuff. That'd be
Dope.
fucking dope. We
Hell
about
yeah.
that life.
Thanks.
Send us the juice.
Cheers, Jim. P.S. Love the blind shows. Well, this one's for you, Jim.
Well, guess what? We got a blind show coming up right now.
Going in blind.
Going in black.
Because I got a blind show.
Going in black.
going in blind.
The best part about that whole thing is, what's that beard?
What's that beer?
I like when Greg turned into Keyboard Cat. He's over here like... "Doo, doo, 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 doo."
Oh, God. I'm really looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
Let's get
I wonder
this
what the
thing
IPA
going.
base beer is. Does anybody know?
Oh, from Beachwood?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Is it like Amalgamator? Or
I didn't
maybe?
even think to.
I don't think
look
it was...
that up.
I think it's just a new... I mean, they make
Yeah.
a new IPA.
I think
maybe
it's
it's
just
brewed in the
it's just a
style of
Simcoe
Sculpin.
Amarillo.
Because
Is it
the
really?
base
Okay.
beer without adjuncts, they just call invasive species.
Oh,
but
all right.
yeah.
Here comes beer number one, everybody.
Yes.
We've
And
got,
so...
This is beer number one.
Looks like an
beer number
IPA.
one. Isn't it a lot of fun?
they look identical.
So can we number these, or we have? So Sarah's bringing these in pint glasses for us,
Yes.
and then we're pouring them into our own 4B glasses.
Yes. The untapped glass I am going to put on my left.
First
Yeah, we
beer
have
is
an untapped glass and an Oscar Blues glass.
That these were decanted into.
We had a Ballast Point glass, but we figured that'd be confusing.
Be a little dickish.
Like, that's the Ballast Point, isn't it?
I actually got that Oscar Blues glass for free from La Bodega
Thanks, Labo.
Nice.
just for buying some 1050.
Labadiga.
So, the first beer, Untapped Glass. Sarah, you know which one that is, right?
I do.
All right.
It's a mystery.
That one's going on.
I don't think we
on
need
my
to wait
left.
till the end to reveal these. We can just kind of reveal them after we drink them, eh?
Yeah, this is the real mall at the end. That's fun.
Yeah, I think I like revealing them at the end.
Yeah, and reveal I think is a good
I mean,
way
I
to-
think they look pretty much identical.
Yeah, and this time we're using the same glasses so Reddit doesn't poop all over us.
Reddit will poop all over everyone.
I
They don't
mean,
give a fuck.
Reddit
They're like, you said adjunct, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I think
Reddit enjoys a fat, juicy dump.
Is everyone following the same?
I'm
Left,
going to
right?
have Spez edit my fucking post so I can fucking...
So I got the Untapped glass on my left, and then the Oscar Blues glass on my right.
Yep,
Yeah,
same
one's
here.
just a tick lighter. The glass on the left is just a tick lighter. The
I
Untapped
think
glass.
I think the one on the right, the Oscar Blues glass, is a little bit clearer, but just barely.
barely clear. Yeah, not
So
much.
I think I may have mixed mine up, but I think I'm on the same thing.
Okay.
The Untapped glass.
You got
So
a
the
50-50
Untapped glass
shot,
to me
John.
smells way more hoppy. Does everyone else get that?
Agreed.
So just so we're on.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm
Infinitely
okay.
more hoppy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, number one definitely has a much more like tropical hop nose to it.
It's bigger,
bursting.
brighter. Yeah, it's got a lot more like citrus, like tangerine peel is what I'm getting out of it.
We're calling
like
the Untapped glass
crazy.
number one, right?
Yeah. Left is number one.
Got it.
Yep. So left one has way, I would say, at least twice the aroma.
At
Yeah.
least, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Hopefully
has a
that's
little bit of that like candy vibe.
Yeah, we were
know?
talking about that earlier, that kind of fun dip candy vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
The glass on the right, glass number two,
Kind of muted.
it has a weird thing on the aroma that I can't put my finger on.
It smells like passion fruit to me, but very subtle.
Like it's kind
It
of
smells-
stinky.
It smells a little bit more herbal,
Maybe that's what it is.
a little bit more herbaceous.
And I just took a sippy sip of a left beer and very tropical, like a lot of like tropical fruit, a little bit of a bitter back, a little like there's a malt character there. Like it's got
that's
a
nice.
malt backbone, but
Yeah.
it works really well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the Oh, this has to be Sculpin. Like, right?
And,
I don't know.
And number two glass.
I haven't tried number two
the
yet.
nose on this one is muted. It's a little bit more piney.
There you go. Piney. It's piney and herbal.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it doesn't have that tropical character on the nose on the second beer.
But they taste very similar.
It's more.
I
It's
disagree.
It's got less body. It's more dry.
Yeah, I think the right one is drier and it's more bitter too. I think it has a little bit like more roughness to the bitterness.
Oh, okay. I see. A little astringent.
Yeah.
It's more of a classic bitter, and where I feel like the first beer tastes a little bit more in like a new school IPA.
Nouveau.
Yeah.
They definitely both have that candy vibe though.
Similar malt profiles, I think.
Yeah. The beer number two on the right is not bad. It's just not as vibrant, I think.
Yeah, it's got like this sugar cane sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like beer one is definitely a beer. Sorry. It's definitely softer in the bitterness. It's got way more aroma. I think it's the clear winner.
Yeah.
These two.
One
Yeah,
is-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really, really like the malt profile. How it like the mouth feel. You get kind of a, and not. It's not like an East Coast old school IPA thing. It's it tastes good with the malt.
Yeah.
It's not a sweetness. It's
Right.
it's tasty.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's perfect.
Both
Yeah.
of these are really solid IPAs, but
Yep.
I feel like the hop profile on the first beer really pops a lot better.
Yeah.
The second beer has more of a like a resiny bitterness to it. Again, not a bad IPA by any means, but I think the first beer was just a little bit.
I think it's pretty obvious.
If this was brewed at Beachwood's new location, I find it surprising that they would do that because it's not, their system. It's not tried and true. It's like it's newer, and so you're still trying to work out the kinks with the new brew house kind of thing.
I mean, they've been brewing there since June, and all of the bottles that have been put out, like Amalgamator and stuff, have come out of the new brew house. So I think it's pretty dialed in.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually was there like a week ago, and I got a bottle of Amalgamator and haven't opened it yet. So I'll have to post
Citraholic.
post a trip report.
We were invited to the soft open. I think Greg, you went before then to
I was there the week
Orange
of.
Coast, right?
For sure, yeah. I popped in during my lunch break and took some photos and gave Julian a big sweaty man hug.
I wasn't able to go to the grand opening. I was really disappointed.
It was on the same day as the Packing House anniversary.
Yep.
So we had we had other things to do.
Yeah, Huntington Beach is really moving and shaking in the brewing world now with Trevor Walls from Pizza Port, San Clemente just
going
left.
to rip.
He's going to rip.
Let her rip. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm gonna make it down there.
Yeah,
Trevor's a good dude.
I like the beers. I like the beers before, and maybe I'll like them better.
I mean, of the pizza ports, I think San Clemente's probably the most decorated.
Yeah.
San Clemente or Carlsbad.
Yeah, San Clemente won Golden IPA. You can't fucking discount that for anywhere.
That's true. But I think as far as like volume goes, I think Carlsbad might have a one out. Bagby was there for so long.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know though. It felt like for a couple of years there, San Clemente, they won Brew Pub of the Year. They've won a bunch of stuff. So
We've got beer number 2.
Beer number 2 is coming up.
we have 2 new pints.
Let's put them next to each other real quick. And
Is one of them the Ballast Point pint? Oh, no,
one of them's got 2 fingers of fluffy head.
Yeah.
These are 2 new pint glasses.
Yeah, one
Greg's
of them.
using the old pints as a dumper, even though we have 2 dumpers right in the middle of the table.
I mean, it was closer.
Wow, like huge difference in clarity between
Which beer
these
is this?
two.
This is the mango variety.
Mango one. Okay.
Okay, so that would explain the difference because Sculpin doesn't do a mango. It's mango even keel,
Right.
which is a different beer.
But still, I mean,
a stunning difference in clarity, honestly.
the packing house glass. There's a packing house glass and there's a Stone Brewing Company glass. The packing house glass is clearly cloudier.
Definitely.
Which that was poor phrasing. It's definitely more cloudy than the stone glass.
All right, I'm going to take the stone glass. Stone glass is going to be beer number 1 on the left.
Okay.
Let's. Sorry, Greg.
I'm ready. I have my hand holsters ready.
When you hold your hands like that, it looks like you're like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Carl ran real good. Ran a great race.
Shake it back.
Beer number 1 in the stone glass.
No
All
idea.
right.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
That one also, the stone glass has a big foamy head on it. The other one, it has a head, but it's less.
Yeah, it's obviously less. All right, obvious difference in clarity and head. So already a pretty big split between the two.
Yeah, beer number 1 from the stone glass is way more transparent than beer number 2 from the packing house glass. Different colors.
Yeah.
That could be because of the opacity. I'm not
Huge
sure.
fruit nose, like on
number
beer
one.
number 1, it's like a
Giant mango.
just mango candy.
Reminds me of Fruity
more,
Pebbles.
Yeah, it's more mango candy. It's not doesn't have the fresh mango thing.
Yeah, I'm like gritting my teeth smelling that. It smells sugary candy mango.
And then
mango I just started like 3 different sentences right now. Like sugared mango candy.
Yeah,
like that kind
basically.
of thing.
Yeah, it
Take a
reminds me of
mango,
Fruity Pebbles.
take a
breakfast
mango,
cereal.
dip it in some sugar, dry it out, and that's what it smells like.
Not even a real one, like fake mango.
Fake mango, yeah. It smells nothing like mango. It smells like mango marshmallows.
Mango marshmallows. Also my favorite stripper from Hawaii.
From Lanai.
the nose on number 2 is much more muted.
Oh.
You get more of a hop profile from number 2, I think, than mango. Mango is number 1 is all mango.
Mango extract.
Yeah. Mango concentrate.
But it's clear, so I don't know. And
It's
then beer
also
number
a
2 is
shade
more
darker.
bitter.
The beer number 1 is like a little bit darker in
a little
color.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this one's quite fair because they're 2 different base beers. Right?
Well,
I mean, what is Even Kill? I've never had either beer, so obviously.
it's a session IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close. I mean, they're,
Yeah, it's ballparky.
it is what it is. We have what we have, and
That's
Beachwood
true.
made what they made, and,
The hops arrive like butterflies.
Admittedly, like the see what you did there. I don't even want to drink the one on the left anymore. It's gross. Like it has this
it's
like
way over the top.
this fake candy like
it tastes like candy.
extracty. Like it's not good.
You
Like,
could not drink a pint. I couldn't drink a pint of this.
I don't really like either of these.
Yeah, I'm with you. Both are kind of gross.
The one on the left is super, super big mango
Number
extract. Yeah, beer number 1.
Barf.
Big mango, like mango flavor.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
And it's it's kind of thin. If we had to guess, the first beer is even Keel. That's what I would
That's
guess.
my guess too. Yeah.
But the second beer is just still, it's kind of muddy and like there's the fruit flavor in there, kind of
hoppy.
Yeah,
kind of, but it's just muddled like your tan.
Yeah, it kind of tastes like a what?
Does it run by fruiting?
Oh, yeah, it tastes kind of mushy in a weird way. You know, like
an overripe fruit almost.
You know when Halloween comes around and they release like Frankenberry and Booberry? It smells just like Booberry.
Blueberry.
The breakfast cereal. And like strawberries, Nestle's Quick, in a way.
Oh.
Just going off what Jason's saying, it sounds like the beer on the right, number 2, is the more authentic to the fruit.
But even
Is
then,
it? I
like
don't
the
know.
fruit, the
It's not
fruit's really like way in the distance. You know, it's like
And I've had mango IPAs before that are good.
yeah.
Yeah, the number
Of these
1 is
two?
definitely a fruit-forward beer, where beer number 2 is a beer-forward beer that just happens to have mango in it.
Right.
So
But even then, it's like it doesn't
it's
feel
more
like
of
the
a
mango's
complimentary edition than it is.
I don't think it's complimentary though, because we started with the first beer we tried. One of those two was it, and this beer is objectively worse than any of those.
Yeah.
I mean, if you told me that, if you just slid this beer number 2 in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to detect any mango.
If I had to pick one, I guess number 2.
Yeah,
but,
same thing.
mean,
Number 2 is
It's
more
not number.
beerish.
It's a reluctant pick.
I think they're so different, you can't pick which one's better because they're just completely
I
different.
think they're both bad, and I don't want either.
I just think the fakeness of the other one is just so gross. It's
Yeah.
very off-putting for me.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Just neither of them has a flavor that I want to drink. They're just kind of taste like butt.
Yeah, mango. I mean, there's hops that have mango qualities to them. Why not just use that instead of add a shitload of whatever to your beer?
Yeah, I mean that's Ballast Point's MO, right? And so that was kind of the diss. But
I just think beer-flavored beer works out pretty good.
it's more beery than the last beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Beerier.
more beery than last beer.
Just for the record, there's a hop particle that I pulled off my tongue.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it came from one of these beers.
Oh, let's make out.
Just in your heart. John hacked it up. Like Stranger Things.
It's like a cat.
Boom, 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 boom,
It's a
boom.
cat with a hairball.
Exactly. Just when you think it's all over, he just barfs up some hop and
John's been brewing in the
flips
upside down.
into the upside down.
Oh my god. He's like that one magician that can pull out fish out of his mouth or something.
Oh, David Blaine
David Blaine, yeah.
burping up the frogs.
Wine freak. I know it's not the same person.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, again, like an obvious difference in clarity, like
So,
a really blatant
I would
difference.
We've got
say-
Untapped in packing house glasses now.
Yes.
So number 1 on the left is the packing house glass. Number 2 on the right is the untapped glass.
There we go.
So I think number 1 is coming a shade darker.
Yeah, a little bit. That might have to do with clarity, but it's definitely darker.
I don't see a big clarity difference. Like I think though,
Really?
I mean, they're both pretty damn clear to be honest with you.
This is
Yeah.
grapefruit, by the way.
This is the grapefruit variety.
Greg's sitting this one out
pass-
because
yeah. I don't
grapefruit
wanna die.
makes him die.
Good call keeping the habanero for last.
I know some things.
You're a pro. You're a
I can
pro
smell them at
purist.
least. I would like to smell them.
Gene Snee.
Can you smell the grapefruit?
I
from
can.
I can smell
Oh,
grapefruit
smell.
from my backyard.
Smell that grape.
You smell the grapefruit.
I can at least judge the aroma and clarity and stuff. That's
Yep.
fair enough.
No, I definitely see a clarity difference. I think the number 1 is much clearer.
So number 1 was the packing house glass. Number 2 is Untapped, right?
That's correct.
Got it.
See, correcto?
Has
No,
that
incorrecto.
man? It has that same sugared candy kind of aroma to it. Number 1 does. You know, it's like it smells like sugared candy grapefruit.
God, yeah, it's so blatant.
Yeah, it really does.
Holy shit.
Very, candy.
It's unpleasant.
Number 2, though, also has a grapefruit aroma, but it's like deeper and more. It smells actually like grapefruit.
You have to
Yeah.
hunt for it a little bit more on number 2. it's not as
I completely disagree.
It's not in your face. Well, the aroma isn't as big and in your face comparatively to number one,
but it still
smells
big.
more like actual fruit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah, number 2 smells legit, essentially.
It
Can
smells
you
like a
remind
beer.
me one more time what you had as number 1 and number 2? Which glasses?
For this one,
Number one was
is
Packing House. 2 was Untapped.
Okay, that's what I got.
And number 2 is, I guess, a little cloudier. It's like maybe like a chill haze though. Like it's still a pretty clear beer, but
That's
it's
true.
not like there's not like particulate floating in it. It's just a little bit hazy.
Yeah.
Color-wise, they're pretty much spot on.
yeah.
It's like a half an SRM apart.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Beer number 1's just a tick darker.
Yeah.
Which
So-
is actually kind of impressive on Beachwood's part for being able to
Nailing the color.
get it so close.
Yeah.
Number 1 tastes solid though. That flavor isn't as artificial as the aroma is on the grapefruit. I think it blends well with the hop profile.
Nah, I can't jive with that. It tastes like it does. See, whenever I have a grapefruit beer, I want to expect. I imagine some kind of bitterness, some kind of like pithiness that says, "Yes, this is actual citrus." This doesn't have that. You know, it has that like faux grapefruit aroma. It's I can't get into that at all.
I think number 1 is more bitter though than number 2.
Yeah, it does have more of a bitter bite.
Number 2 is softer in the bitterness, I think.
Number 2 also tastes like more like grapefruit juice.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I like both of these beers in different ways. They both have merits the other ones don't. The other one doesn't have.
Yeah.
I do like that strong back bite on the first beer.
Yash. Get it?
Yeah, back bite.
I mean, for me, the beer number 2 smells more like beer flavored beer, and maybe with some real grapefruit or something in there.
Yeah.
I can't really dig into it without tasting it, but the first beer number 1 just smells artificial
Yeah.
grapefruit.
I think for me, number 2 is the clear winner here. I think it's a really clear standout.
As far as the taste of number 2 goes, it's a really good beer. It's a tasty beer, and it's not. The first one's so like in your face, sugary fake grapefruit that it's hard to drink. Where the second one is an actual beer that has some grapefruit in it, you know, and it works.
So I'm gonna pick number 2 on this one, guys. Or I'm sorry, number 1. You guys are going with number 2.
Do you think Sarah's mixing up like the number 1s and number 2s? Like,
Maybe.
because it's so far it seems like number
Seems
1
like the clarity has been on the right so far. I mean, yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the beer number 1, the more artificial nosy one, is just a brighter beer overall. Where I think the number 2 beer is kind of muddy. It's not bad. It just doesn't.
It doesn't have the bright crispiness.
No, it's not crisp at all.
Yeah.
And the beer number 1, it has a clean bitter bite finish, and it's a little bit crisper, and I think it's more refreshing to drink, where I feel like number 2 kind of is going to become a chore if I drink like a whole pint of it.
I can totally get on board with that.
And so
that's a good way to
while
summarize
these are really close, and I kind of labored over it, I'm going with number 1.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm not going to go with number 1 just because I find the grapefruit to be too much on the nose. And I really like how number 2, it's a little more muddled. It's muddled, but it's melded together better, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I could drink number 2 all day. So,
Well, I mean, another thing to consider is Beachwood hasn't been making this beer for 5 years.
how do you know it's Beachwood?
I mean,
That's what I was saying. Like, if Sarah's switching, maybe
that's not
one
my
where.
point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
my point is that, Ballast Point's been making Sculpin for years,
Yeah.
and Beachwood has only made that beer once.
And
So
your
there's-
point.
And
There's going to be quality differences on Beachwood's side just because they haven't been making that beer over and over repeatedly 24
But
hours a
my
day.
point is, how do you know that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
artificial one
saying.
is-
It's just something worth thinking
It's
about.
worth
And
noting,
honestly,
yeah.
to be honest, I would kind of challenge that a little bit because, there are kinks to work out as far as, your water profile and, your tank residency and stuff like that. But all in all, Julian and crew know how to brew beer, and so yes,
And
there's
IPA.
like an IPA especially.
For
and
sure.
So
Yeah, I'm not digging him on that.
There's like subtle differences between like brew houses and stuff. So to like maximize your brew house efficiency and like all that kind of stuff takes a little bit of work. But when it comes to like quality, I would expect them to have a great beer right out of the gate.
Okay.
So we've got 2 more beers here.
We do.
And Stone Glass. Stone Glass is on the left. Oscar Blues Glass is on the right.
All right.
Again, a pretty obvious color difference. One I think is obviously lighter than another.
The one on the
sure,
right
yeah.
is a shade darker.
Yeah.
And we're at the Habanero beer.
Habanero.
Habanero.
So, Sarah, we're calling the Stone Glass beer number 1. Oscar Blues
okay.
number 2.
Does someone want to do the honors?
Stone Glass number 1.
Number one.
Number 1 defender.
Stone Glass number 1 going in mine.
Go in mine.
Going in mine.
What you gonna do?
What's that beer? Oh, Mateo is asking, what is that beer? We are going in blind.
I'm surprised it took this long for
for
Mateo.
Mateo to pop
surface.
himself out.
Here you go, Mateo.
For Mateo to show
Take
himself.
the goddamn beer.
Mateo shall hold it.
Son of a bitch.
Mateo will show himself whether you like it or not.
Oh, Mateo has only been to prison twice for that.
Twice.
Oh,
I think Mateo has a problem.
Oh, Mateo needs to register on our list. Moves.
Yeah, so beer number 1, definitely a tick lighter.
Mateo.
Both are kind of cloudy and they're, similar clarity.
Yeah, the clarity I think is a lot more similar with these than it has been for the last ones.
Yeah, number 2 I would say is a couple shades darker.
Oh, wow.
Definitely.
Wow.
Wow.
Otherwise, like they have like the identical amount of head hanging on. I'd say the clarity's pretty on. They're about even.
They're really close, yeah.
So I think the big difference with these particular beers is can you get habanero extract?
Sure.
Probably,
you can
yeah.
get anything extract.
Really?
Definitely.
Okay.
Food science, man.
I would, yeah, but I would.
Has food science gone too far?
I'm not sure if Ballast Point uses habanero extract.
No, they
my understanding is they kind of make their own habanero concentrate. where
Well, yeah, they make a really, really spicy Sculpin.
I was
and
just
then
at the
cut it.
brewery and they have this little tiny, I think it's like a 5 or 10 barrel thing that they soak just a shit ton of habaneros in, and they mix that with their beer in line as it's going to packaging, so they can kind of taste and get that level of heat.
Get the proper
going
dosage.
Yep. Speaking of dosage,
Do you happen to know if they use habaneros?
they do, yes.
Okay.
I think they use very, very hot water to make that extraction.
Okay. So that was my point. I think this is an example of where both breweries are using the actual fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, from you've described that process on the show, I think, before, where Ballast Point basically makes their own habanero extract.
Yeah, I got that info
then-
from James Murray.
Is he
the
still
brewer?
there, or is he
I
one of the
don't
ones
know.
that left?
But
It
this
feels
was a
like
while ago.
all their
that
senior guys
he was
left.
telling me about that.
Anyway.
Oh, that was at Firestone last year.
Yeah,
You were talking about it,
exactly.
yeah.
So beer on the left definitely has this like habanero like birthday cake thing happening. It's very sweet smelling habanero.
Yeah, the one on the right is a deeper.
The one on the right is like
smelling the pepper.
Yeah, the one on the
Smells like
right has
pepper.
a big green, like a green peppery
Yeah.
flesh to
Yeah,
it.
it's fleshy.
One on the left to me has like a lot more residual sweetness and a lot more body.
The left being number 1, the right being number 2.
Yes, exactly.
Beer number 1, I haven't tried it yet. Let's see which level of habanero Sculpin we got, because some of them are like, that's pretty hot. Some of them are like, oh god.
Yeah.
I'm getting some tingle.
It's spicy.
I'm getting some
I
tingle.
got some tingle on it. Yeah, it's definitely like, you can feel your nose kind of opening up a little bit. And
Yeah, number 1, not a huge pepper presence up front, but I'm getting a little bit of a subtle burn on the back of my throat once I drank it. Just like, all right, I was there and I was hot.
Yeah, I wish I almost want to take a drink of water. It's hard to do these side by side because the
They
burn.
linger.
Yeah, once you have
Yeah.
the burn there, it kind of hangs out, and so it's hard to judge the second beer.
That's why I ate all that hot sauce on the pizza.
Is that way you would be dead inside before
Yeah.
the show started?
Yep.
I think these are very close on the flavor.
I agree. I think this one is too close to call.
Yeah, this is. I prefer the aroma of number 2.
Correct.
And I prefer the mouthfeel of number 1.
Yeah,
It's got like a malty, kind of like Sculpin, or I'm not going to say that was Sculpin. The beer number 1, I think from the first set that we did, had just a nice malty, a tasty thing to it, you know. But they're close.
Yeah,
I like beer number 2 quite a bit more. I think it's got more of like that real pepper habanero sort of aroma and flavor, and the burns there.
Yeah, if I was going to lean, I'd have to say number 2 would be the victor for me.
It's pretty
There's
close.
definitely a sweet character to number 1 that's not in number 2.
Yeah.
And they both have I think number 1's got a little bit more heat too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, number 1 is, it's really good.
So you're going 1.
So we're a pretty even split here.
I love the way this beer tastes.
Yeah, the peppery note on number 2 really overrides whatever hop character is in an IPA.
I think the actual taste of the beer is very, very close.
Yeah.
And I'm going to edge out to number 2 because I like that nose a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the nose on number 2 a lot more. Yeah.
But are you still picking number 1 as your better? And Greg, which one did you go with?
I went with 2
All right.
by a long shot. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we've finished these. Also, that heat really accumulates after a little while.
Yeah, it's really building up, right? Yeah.
I'm like,
I got some warming. Yeah. It's like, that was really good. So, Sarah,
Hey,
we have the results. Shall we reveal them?
we shall.
Let's go 1 by 1.
Okay, so the first beer was straight Invasive Species, correct?
Yes, it was.
Invasive Species versus
And
regular
Sculpin.
Sculpin.
Yes.
Number 1 was the Untapped glass. Number 2 was the Oscar Blues glass.
And Jason,
Yes.
did you keep track of our
Who liked what?
individual likes?
We all picked number 1 on that one.
Okay, so we all picked number 1. What was number 1?
Number 1 was Beachwood.
All right.
Oh, that's
All
good
right.
to hear. That had a huge nose to it.
Yeah.
I could smell it as I was walking into the studio. I could smell the.
Number 1 was Beachwood?
Sure was.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My pen doesn't lie.
I was like, yep, this is Sculpin.
Much like these hips.
Done. Oh, props to Beachwood,
I think,
man.
I suspected that when I noticed that it had a more tropical modern hop nose. Like one felt newer than the other. And
Right.
Sculpin, it's not that old.
Got some
in that
mileage
it's like
on
an
it, though.
08-09 era recipe, but I think
Which
Beachwood...
in craft terms is like fucking elderly.
yeah,
Right.
but I think Beachwood kind of has a newer school approach. And
Yep.
Dude, props. That was a good, man. I would like, yep, that was Sculpin. Nope. Completely wrong.
Weird. Okay, so number 2 was the mango whatevers.
Whatever's.
So the beer number 1 was in the stone glass, beer number 2 was in the packing house glass, and we all unanimously liked number 2.
And why did we like that? Because it was less artificial?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because number 1 was fake AF.
Okay.
Yep.
And we actually, we all unanimously didn't really care for either.
That's true.
Both were not good.
Yep. All right, so we picked number 2, correct?
Yes.
What was number 2?
Beer number 2 was Mango Beachwood.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it makes sense.
2 for 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Ballast is using like concentrates for their fruit flavoring.
man, that
and
was so
it
gross.
shows.
I think so is Beachwood, though. If you look at their labels, they say with mango flavor, with grapefruit flavor.
I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that Julian mentioned using actual mango puree in like it was something about a bunch of mango puree left over in the fermenter, or he had put a bunch of mango in the
Because
fermenter.
if you look at the
first.
labels, it says India Pale Ale with natural grapefruit flavors, with natural mango flavor, with habanero peppers added,
that also might be a labeling technicality
with
too.
mango added. So mango
very
sounds
true.
like it actually had mango. Grapefruit sounds like they used natural grapefruit flavors.
Gotcha. Okay. The third was the
Grapefruit.
speaking of which, the grapefruits, and were we split on that one?
We divided on that one. I liked number 1, and John and Matt liked number 2, and Greg liked living more than drinking. beer.
Greg abstained.
I
chose
judged
life.
the aromatics, and I chose number 2 based on the aroma was more real, like real grapefruit.
So it was 1-1 to 3-2s.
Mm-hmm.
What was number 1?
Number 1 was Ballast Point.
Okay.
All right, so then one was Ballast Point, and then 2 is the Beachwood. Okay,
That's
so
what I
we're
thought.
still yeah, me too.
I'm 3 for 3 on Beachwood.
Yep.
So the biggest common thread we're seeing is that Beachwood goes bigger and harder on the artificially adjunct flavor. That's been the common thread on all these so far.
I disagree.
What?
Yeah, it was the Ballast Point. Ballast Point seems to have...
Ballast Point. Yeah.
They seem to have the most artificial like flavor.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be the most...
It stands out.
It's the most obviously artificial.
I think on the grapefruit, for my dollar, I think even though Ballast Point's grapefruit was a little bit more artificial, the beer was more put together as overall. It was more of a cohesive beer, and that's why I picked it.
Okay. So, last but not least, the Habaneros...
number 1, Stone Glass. Number 2, Oscar Blues Glass Habanero.
What was the
What did we
picks?
like?
3 of us picked number 2, and John went with number 1.
Okay, and so number 2 was...
Number 2 was Ballast Point Habscab.
All right.
Really?
Yep.
So number 2 in this case was the Ballast Point.
Number 2 was Ballast Point.
All right.
Okay.
I chose Ballast Point on that one.
I chose
Likewise. Yeah, I chose the Ballast Point myself.
And wow.
Still enjoying it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Interesting that Ballast Point would have the more natural
Habanero kind of aroma.
Although
yeah.
we talked about it, I mean, they did.
That is
Sounds like
the
it
one
was
where they
natural.
do actual habaneros.
Yeah, it's the one where they actually use fruit. Interesting. So it seems like the...
What did we learn here?
It seems like more or less the Beachwood beers were like kind of the victor.
But it
as
was
far
like
as like
a-
general opinion, but it was
It's like a Rocky 2 victory. Like
That's true.
they won, but they came out of it kind of battered. It wasn't
Yeah.
a decisive victory at all.
That's true.
I was most surprised by the straight up IPAs side by side. I could, like I said, I was
Which is what I would
I
be-
would have swore that was Sculpin, but props to Beachwood, that was damn good.
Yep.
Yeah, I agreed 100%. You know, when I'm buying IPAs, I'm buying non-flavored IPAs, and I want to drink that, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a good Sculpin replacement.
I do like-
it had that like explosive aroma, you know?
I do like Habanero Sculpin. I've always liked it. I like Habanero in beer. So for Beachwood and Sculpin to be so close, I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Beachwood did a hell of a job.
Yeah, for sure.
Just goes to show that there are craft alternatives to these beers that you see just, you know, lingering on shelves in
Yep.
Bevmo in Total Wine.
Yep.
So,
It was a fun experiment.
It was. Thank you guys for setting this up and getting going way out of your way. Thanks to John Righty for helping us out with this too. Really fun, you guys. Right on.
thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah,
You're
for
welcome.
being our pooress as per usual.
Beachwood right now is like, yo, Adrian, we did it. Yo, Adrian, I did it.
Exactly.
Big old bulging eye.
Yeah, exactly. The broken orbital bone and shit. Right on. Well, if you want to find Four Brewers online, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. You can find all that information at fourbrewers.com. You can go to fourbrewers.com/YouTube for some ooey gooey video content. Go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating because that can only help us help the show. Go to patreon.com/fourbrewers if you want to donate to the show. And if you want to get in touch with us directly, hit us up at feedback@fourbrewers.com and brew the shit out of it.